Welcome back to the vent conversion. As you might have noticed, today we are on top of it, and that's because we're about to start making holes. And the first hole we're gonna make is actually the biggest, which is for a roof vent right here. And I'm a little bit nervous about it because once I make a hole in this, there's no going back. But let's actually go inside the vent because that's where the whole process is gonna start. Disregard how the rest of the roof looks. I know it's a little patchy, some paint missing, some whatevers. But I'm at some point gonna paint the whole van. So now we're just gonna treat the area around the hole that then gonna have the vent over it, which I'm not gonna be able to paint in the future. Cool? Cool. Let's go down. Since I already have a frame here marking the location that I want the fan to be in, I'm gonna start now by drilling some holes, marking the corners of the square that I need to do. And then I'll go back to the top of the van, use my jigsaw, and cut it all perfect. There's no going back. But in order to help me make a square cut, I also made this cardboard template, which I'm gonna put here in place and then drill 2 holes so they can help me place it from above and draw a line around the cut that I need to make. And now we're almost set to start cutting with a jigsaw. I just need to use a plastic bag, a trash bag in this case, and attach it to the ceiling to try and catch the most metal shards that I can to make my life easier in the future and prevent more rust than I already have. Let's get started. Whoops, I broke a blade. I have 2 more. Let's see if we can make it through this. I got 3 of the sides cut. Actually, more like 3.8, because the only thing that's missing is this little bit here of the rib, and for some reason all of my blades just keep getting caught. So before I break them all, I'm gonna try a different method, and I think I'm just gonna try and drill a bunch of holes here and see if that way that weakens that little metal, and then I can cut it. Now that the hole is the right dimension, as we can see by the fact that the fan fits in it, yay! All we need to do is drill these holes and then get rid of all the burrs and paint the metal to protect from future rust. Now that everything is deburred, I'm gonna get rid of all the little bits of rust in this area so I can paint fresh, and then we'll put the fan in. And now that there's no more rust, we just wipe it off and paint it. It's the next day, all of the paint is dry, and so it's time to begin the sealing process. And for that, I'm gonna be using a couple things. First, butyl tape to level all of this surface for the fan to sit in. And then just normal sealant to fill in the gaps and make sure it's all watertight.
That'll keep it with me, feels like you're up in space. I'm in the Milky Way, while you're down on Earth. You look up to me, do you know my worth?
Now that this is somewhat leveled, that thing was sticky, I'm gonna run a bead of sealant on the inside of this butyl and then on the underside of the actual vent. And this might be a little bit of an overkill, but I don't want any water to get in ever. So better safe than sorry. It's not the prettiest, but let's let it dry and then we'll fix it. Now let's move on to attaching the underside. All I'm gonna do for now is attach the bottom side to the wood. I'm not gonna wire anything. I'll leave that for when I do all of the electricity. It's day 3, the vent is installed, but since we're making holes in the roof, might as well get through all of them. Specifically for a rooftop rack to hold the solar panels, the hole for the solar panel cables to come through, and the hole for a backup camera, because maneuvering this big van without a camera can get tricky at times. So let's get on top of the van and continue with the work. That took a while to figure out, but now that everything is marked, let's get to drilling some holes. Now that the holes are drilled, it's basically the same thing. Deburr, paint, and then put the riv nuts with a little bit of sealant around. Forget about all our cares. Church, staring straight through the wall. Walk a little closer
save me. God have mercy on us all.
For the backup camera, I got this L bracket in order to attach it to the top of the doors. So now let's go mark where the holes need to go. Before we attach it, let's prep it, because this looks a little ugly.
Come near, let me just show you. Don't know, can't talk, let me just show you. Don't be obsessive, it could be intensive, it could be explosive, it could be offensive. Don't be defensive, don't be aggressive, it will be a waste, it could be expensive.
Now that it's all rounded and there's no sharp edges, let's plug some of these holes, because I don't need all of them.
You need to be free.
Move, move, body move, move your body, take you move, body move, move your body, take you.
You're running through my mind with a shotgun. I'm running out of time, but I'm not done. Yeah, I don't need a run, it'll come to me. I don't need a fight, but I keep moving, keep moving. Even what I lose, yeah, I keep moving. Put on my shoes, yeah, I keep moving. There's no room to refuse. Don't you mess with us, we're not afraid. Look at us, no, there is nothing to discuss. I'm not okay, but I'll get up. I know the way, no, I won't stop. I know this game, I won't give up. It takes some time to reach the top. Let's take a break, here comes the drop. Don't be obsessive, it could be intensive, it could be explosive, it could be offensive. Don't be defensive, don't be aggressive, it will be a waste cause we could be expensive.
And with the vent done, the roof rack done, the backup camera done, the only hole missing on the roof is for the solar cables. So let's take care of that. Now that everything is dry, everything is fully cured, it's time for the ultimate water test. We're finally gonna figure out if this thing is actually properly sealed and if there are no leaks. And if that's so, we can move on with the rest of the process. So fingers crossed, and let's just do it. It's the moment of truth. Let's figure out if it's actually dry or not. Seems to be dry. I can't see a speck of water, so let's call this a success. And with that, we got to the end of this video. So remember to subscribe to the channel, drop a like in this video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Noticed today we are on top of the roof. The roof. There's no sharp edges. There's no going back. Nope. And I'm a little bit nervous. A couple. Ay, so many dogs.